Morning, everyone. We learned yesterday that according to the Rema, and it comes from earlier sources, there are not 9 days of Avelos, but 3 weeks of Avelos. I explained yesterday that those 3 weeks are commemorated. That's now from Shivasar B'Tammuz until Tisha B'Av or until Rosh Chodesh with 4 things: not allowed to take a haircut, not allowed to get married, not allowed to listen to live music, and not allowed to make a shechiyanu. That's what we learned yesterday. Those are the 4 Ashkenazi chumras of these 3 weeks, which most Sfardim don't have. I just want to spend a minute on this taking a haircut. Can't take a haircut, so the Mishnah Berurah explains very simply that it's time of Avelos, and just like if somebody, God forbid, would be in an Avelos of Shloshim, you don't take a haircut, during the 3 weeks. The Aruch HaShulchan, and by the way, the Mishnah Berurah says that there's no difference between men and women in this. Same thing, and no difference what part of the body we're talking about. Everything is Assur. Haircuts are part of Avelos, meaning that just the act of cutting your hair, is Assur, just like it would be Assur on Chol Hamoed, it's Assur on during the 3 weeks. So says the Mishnah Berurah. The Aruch HaShulchan has a different take on it. He says that shaving is not an Issur. What it is having a stubble is part of this, is a Simmon of Avelos. That's what he says. You look like an oval when you're unshaven. An unshaven person looks like ugulust. Like I'm not really taking care of focusing on myself or on my own appearances these days. But he says something fascinating. He says that really this Simmon of Avelos is really only during the 9 days, not during the 3 weeks. A Simmon of Avelos, we took on things, but it's not. But if you shave like until the last minute before the 9 days, so during the 9 days you won't have a Simmon of Avelos. He says the whole Simmon of Avelos is that you're outgrown. But if you shave until the last minute, so for instance, Shabbos morning every week, nobody looks like an oval. Look great. Why? Because you shaved on Friday. So therefore, he says you stop shaving already during the 3 weeks. So there's machlokes here, Mishnah Berurah and the Aruch HaShulchan, why we don't shave or take a haircut, but I'm specifically talking about shaving now, during the 3 weeks. According to the Mishnah Berurah, it's an Issur to shave. According to the Aruch HaShulchan, you got to make sure you've got a Simmon when it comes to the 9 days. A very interesting thing, can you shave? A lot of poskim say that if it's going to hurt your parnasa, you're allowed to shave. Now you got to be careful with this, because it means to say you're going to lose your job or lose a client, or you're going on a job interview. You need some kind of a psak to rely on this. But the poskim say this, that if it's for parnasa, you're allowed to shave. Why are you allowed to shave for parnasa? You're not allowed to be mechal Shabbos for parnasa. Why are you allowed to shave for parnasa? Even if you're a ben shloshim novel, it's not so pashut that you're allowed to shave. Why should you be allowed to shave? So according to the Aruch HaShulchan, the answer is because there's nothing wrong with shaving. What's wrong with shaving is you're not going to look like an oval but during the 9 days. Okay, so you look like an oval a day later during the 9 days, or maybe stop a day in advance so you have a little bit of a 4 o'clock shadow there. That's what according to the Aruch HaShulchan. According to Mishnah Berurah, it's a shver b'aisa, but I want to share with you for a second, Rabbi Yaacov Haber, the Igros Moshe, says something fascinating. He says that the reason why you're allowed to shave for parnasa during the 3 weeks is because the 3 weeks, these halachas of the 3 weeks, Avelos, are things that Klal Yisrael was accepted upon themselves. It doesn't say it in the Navi that you're not allowed to shave for 3 weeks. We accepted upon ourselves, and when we accepted upon ourselves, says Rav Moshe, we accepted it back then. We accepted it with certain conditions, and one condition is it's not going to put me out of a job. Like, yes, I want to take upon myself to be sad for the Jewish people and to show Avelos for so much of our history and so many pogroms, but the condition was that it's not going to hurt our parnasa. Why? Because they need to feed our families, so we can't, as Rav Moshe says, that if it's actually going to hurt your parnasa, there's no Issur. Because Almanas Cain, we were makabel. That's a chiddush of Rav Moshe, and that's how he paskins. But However you want to understand it, either like the Ramosha or like the Aruch HaShulchan, that it's only a Simmon anyway, or not understand it according to the Mishnah Berurah. However we take it, the poskim say if there is seriously a parnasa challenge, you're allowed to shave, but that doesn't allow you to take a haircut. Haircut is a whole different thing. Just a little bit, let's say one more thing while standing here. I heard from once in Tannersville, I used to go there for the summer. So Rav Herschel Schechter Shlita is in, he goes to Tannersville for the summer, so he's a big posek. So he said that, there's a chiyuv deraisa to shave, if you normally shave, there's a chiyuv deraisa to shave l'kavod Shabbos. Mitzvah deraisa to be mechaberes Shabbos, and if what you do is shave, you have to shave. So he says it can't be that a minhag of the 3 weeks is doche the chiyuv deraisa of shaving. So he said that he thinks people should shave erev Shabbos in any case. It's very interesting that the l'kavod Shabbos, he's a das yachid in this, but Reb Chaim Kanievsky says if you have to shave for parnasa, I just haven't noticed this. If you have to shave for parnasa, but don't shave on Friday or for Shabbos, because that's the one time you don't have to worry about your boss, right? You don't have to worry about parnasa. So, like in a direct machlokas, I looked a little bit further into it, and somebody asked the stipler, that's Reb Chaim Kanievsky's father, whether if it's not mechubad for me, am I allowed to shave during the 3 weeks? So he said it's much more mechubad to have a beard than not to have a beard. So he says, and even if you're growing a beard, it looks at least you're in the right direction. so he was very makbid on it. But a lot of these things, and I mean at halacha, a lot of these things are totally in culture also. Like there's an American job culture, which by the way is different now than it was 10 years ago. Right now it's very laid back and casual. It's I'm told it's not the corporate structure as it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You wouldn't think of going to work without a tie. So everything is different, but bottom line is this: if it's seriously going to hurt your parnasa, ask a shaila of a competent Rema.